time unless it's business related. Like, why are you that focused on social media? What else drives you besides social media?
You gotta have money, Teagan.
Oh yeah, I'm not dating nobody broke because I got money, and so I expect you to have money. So yeah, no broke.
What about potential?
Do they have to match your income, or like when y'all say he has to have money?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. What's broke? Like we talked about, like, if he's a teacher and loving his job, doing it, but only making $45,000-$50,000 a year, is that broke?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I apologize. I've been living in South Florida for 13 years, so I apologize. But maybe I was saying Jacksonville, 40, whatever you said, 50,000. That might not be poverty.
She was broke to poverty. What up, what up, what up? It's Three Brothers No Sense, your favorite barbershop style podcast. I'm Tavares Ferguson, a.k.a. Ferg, join my co-hosts Buff and Razi. But instead of the fellas telling you their minds, we have three special guests on here. I'm going to go from left to right in the order that I met these young ladies, starting with my baby sister, Teagan Ferguson. We have Attayah Milton on here. And Tara tomorrow. Young Crawford, what's going on? Hey, hello, ladies. Welcome to the Three Brothers No Sense.
Hey.
Hello.
Well, thank you, ladies, for joining us. So the reason we have these ladies on today is, we talk about any and everything, including relationships, and we don't know what the hell we be talking about half the time. So we decided to reach out and grab some ladies who are I think dynamic in everything they do and get their opinions and understand what they have going on. So I want the ladies to introduce themselves first, and then we'll kind of get into it. So Teagan, tell the people about yourself.
Tell the people about myself. Well, I am a 25-year-old single phenomenal female.
Agreed. Where are you currently located?
I am currently located in Huntsville, Alabama.
And you just moved back?
Yes, moved back here. I was in Dallas for 2.5 years. And decided to move on back to Alabama.
Graduate of Alabama A&M?
Graduate of Alabama A&M, the best HBCU.
Ooh. In Alabama.
We did good.
In Alabama.
You have to laugh on that.
Yeah, even she laughed. In Alabama. I agree with in Alabama.
Okay, in Alabama.
Attayah, tell the people about yourself.
Hey, I'm Attayah. I am, I'll say I'm the over 40 one, I guess, on the panel. I'm in Philadelphia, graduate of the Florida Agricultural Mechanical University, and newly divorced. I guess not really newly, but a couple years divorced.
Congrats or all?
Back in these, no, we're saying congrats.
Okay, all right, well, there we go, yeah.
back in these streets, happy and healthy, so that's me.
All right, thank you. So Tara tomorrow, tell the people about yourself.
Hi, everybody. Tara Tamara, approaching 40, but still in 30 club from the Florida Agricultural Mechanical University, October 3rd, 1887. Originally from Nashville, Tennessee. Been in Florida since I was 18, and so currently residing in Jacksonville from South Florida. So adjusting to that, I would say
the beautiful city of Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, the beautiful city of Jacksonville, Florida, if that's what they call it. I don't know about all that. I'm single because I don't have a ring, but I am dating.
Dating as in like
exclusively dating.
Exclusively dating somebody?
Dating one person, but I don't have a ring.
So that means you're single, right?
That's why I'm single. I have no ring.
Are we going to rehash that conversation?
No, I mean, it's no reason. We're not going to agree on that one. Or maybe we can. We could talk to single people.
She's absolutely right.
Wow. I mean, I was the minority the last time this conversation came up. But hey, things change.
Yeah.
So thank you, ladies. So before we jump into it, fellas, how was your week? What's going on, ladies? How's your week? Everything going good? Ty, you ready for the Super Bowl? Who you got?
I'm on that green. We're rooting for the Eagles here, so it'll be exciting. We're going on a ski trip this weekend, so I'm looking forward to that, and then coming back and watching the game with my cheesesteak in hand. Go Birds.
I'm definitely. I think I finally made my mind up. I'm rooting for the Eagles.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It's hard, It's hard as a,
Not really.
for me.
Oh yeah, you're a Cowboy. That's right.
I'm open to dating new teams right now, but I'm a long time Cowboys fan.
You don't have a ring, so you're single.
Yeah, we got 5 of them.
Clearly, Razi wants to rehash that conversation.
No, it does. It annoys me to even think that if you are in a relationship that you're single. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand how you can think that you're single if you are exclusively dating someone.
You have to think in terms of like financial planning, right? Long-term decisions, like where you're going to be at retirement, like until you're actually a union, you got to think single-mindedly. So it's like she's single. She's making decisions as a single being. Yes, she's in a relationship with the host, but like her long-term planning still should be very much single.
I mean, I get that. Yeah, long-term plans, but she can't move as if she's single.
Yes, you can.
You can't. I mean, you're in a relationship. Yeah. In a relationship,
in what way?
It might not be, I'm making moves for retirement, but my 3 months, my 6 months, my 1 year plan is gonna somewhat revolve around that other person, or it should, right?
Yes, you can.
I mean,
until you fully commit to that person, why would they hold up their life for you? That's my thing. Is like you can be less single. Like there's levels to this thing, but it's single. It's less. It's maybe I can move and take hell. When I met Z, we were in a relationship. I packed my ass up and moved to Houston. You think I asked her? Like, should I move to Houston? What are your thoughts? Where would this put us? I had to do what was best for me at that point in time. Absolutely. Now that I'm married, I can't go nowhere.
No. Hell,
I can't go to Dallas this weekend if I wanted to without trying to coordinate with her. There's levels to it. As we started dating and then I started thinking less about myself in the greater picture, but I was still single until the day I got married and I said I do. I still could operate independently. And even then, it took a minute to unsingle my mindset. Right, you're still. That's one of the hardest parts of marriage is kind of adjusting to think of yourself as a unit.
When you moved to Houston, you and Z had no conversation about her moving out there with you eventually.
No.
So she just came. Why did she come out there then?
I moved to Houston in September of 2009. She came out here May of 2010.
Why?
So when I moved to Houston, I cut everything off, bruh. Like I quit my job out the blue. I started bull with the military.
Why did Z move to Houston?
Because she was still single, and people called her stupid for moving to Houston without a ring on her finger. Because she was still single.
Why did she move? Who did she move to Houston for?
To be with me. We were in a relationship.
That's not having a single mindset.
No, you can still make the choice, but it's the obligation. If you're married, you're obligated to consider your partner. If you're not married,
if you're single, there's no one person in any city that you're considering moving for.
No.
You can have the thing that you was talking about, Attayah. You can have the mindset. You can have the single mindset of financial planning and things like that. But as Razi said, you can't 100% move.
No,
as though you're single.
I disagree full. If Z would have said, I'm not moving until you put a ring on my finger, we would have still been in a relationship. I couldn't fault her because I haven't committed to her to say.
Yeah, she had that choice.
But either way,
both of y'all, so she was entertaining other guys and you were entertaining other girls.
We can be
you can be in a consensual monogamous relationship as a choice and still have a single mindset.
A single person doesn't need to say all that.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with that.
A monogamous relationship has nothing to do with being married or single. Like, there's married people that aren't in monogamous relationships.
It's like,
so what are we talking about?
Y'all are trying to add all these appetizers and side items when a single person don't have to add anything. They single.
Right.
That's it. But we did this conversation before. I don't want to tie this episode up.
These are young ladies who have to consider these things now. It's levels of commitment. They're telling you, hey, I'm single until a man fully commits to you, and you're telling them,
I'm not saying they don't have to change that mindset. They don't have to change that mindset.
They're in a relationship.
What I'm telling them is that they're not single.
And they're telling you they are. What makes you right?
You have to put your status
what makes them right?
on anything. You're still single. You're single. You're married.
That's a marriage. That's a marriage status. That's marital status. That is not relationship status. Single as a marital status is one thing. Relationship status is something very different. If a guy approaches you and says, "Are you single? Can I date you?" You're probably going to say no, because if you're in a monogamous relationship, you're going to say no, right? You're not single.
Let's ask Tara. Let's ask Tara.
Yeah, Tara. I mean, if a guy approaches you and was like, you're probably gonna, I would assume you're gonna say, I got a man, right? You're not single. That's the difference there. Relationship status, you are not single. You can't move like a single person. You can't go out on dates. You can't entertain other guys. Like, that's the difference there.
Agreed. I agree with that. But I say I'm single because I'm not married. So, but I think that, like, for example, with Z and Tavares, like, she did move out there for you. It was putting pressure, and she was saying, I think that was a sign of saying that she is committed to the relationship and the progression of it. Because at the end of the day, she was like, this long distance thing is not working for me. So she invested in you and herself by moving out there to see what was going to happen. It just so happened that it turned up to be a fruitful marriage with, 2 kids. But it could have not ended like that, so that was a choice she made. She was like, if I'm going to see if this relationship is going to move forward, I'm going to be in the same city with the one that I'm in a relationship with, which is you. So at the end of the day, somebody's going to have to move, right? If y'all are in a different city.
Tavares, how long were you and Z together before she decided to move to Houston?
That depends on how you ask her. So I met her November 2008. I felt like we got in a relationship around, I'll say, March.
5 months? Jesus.
Let's be honest. Like, we're young. I was still no, because I definitely was still single. Because ladies, this is it. First of all, if you meet a semi-attractive man out the blue that you guys haven't been kind of conversing for a minute, he's gonna have a staple. Like, when I meet somebody,
it's Tallahassee and you were young, but still, I just feel like, why does it take so long for men to commit?
Why do women commit too quickly? Right. So my thing is, it wasn't that it took me a long time to commit. It was, I was still trying to understand what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be with. So when I met her, let's throw a random number out there. Let's say I had 3 to 5 people I was entertaining at the time, because I just met her out the blue. I didn't plan on meeting her. I wasn't going on dating websites to look for her. I wasn't actively looking to date. I met her. She caught my eye, and we started entertaining each other, started dating or whatever. And slowly but surely, it was just like, I went from, call it 5 to, I only have so much time in the day. I had a full-time job and doing my thing, to 4, to 3, to 2. And then it just like, eventually I didn't want to give that energy to anybody else. So, and then another part of it with Z specifically was there was this age gap that made me hesitant to jump into a serious relationship. Because, like, what are the chances this going to work with this young chick? I got a lot of flack in the beginning for dating this young chick, because, like, you can't date a woman your age, you can't do all this stuff, because what are the chances? I was 27, turning 28 when I met her. She was 21, right?
Oh, and that's nothing nowadays. But 2008, 2009, when you're 28, when
she's 21,
that's a big age gap. And so I'm sitting here looking at, our circle, judgmental. I got a lot of flack. You can't date anybody your age. You can't handle a woman. I got all of that. And not that I was listening to that, but I got it. It was like, what are the chances of me really? Because anybody knew me, I was anti-marriage anyway, right? So why am I slowing down? Why am I doing this? But slowly but surely, she grew on me to the point where I cannot deny that there was something special about her, and I needed to give her a different take on it. So Teagan, about say March of 2009, she moved up here May of 2010. But by that time, I knew like there was something about her. I had to do whatever I needed to do to make this work. In every relationship, serious relationship I was in, from the time I graduated high school to the time I moved to Houston, ended up long distance. And she was the first person that I tried to end up finding a solution for to be in the same city. So
it's a lot of like, for when you said why do women try to get in relationships so quickly, it's definitely a different mindset. Like, guys date to date, and like Ferg said, I always say it's the Hunger Games. May the odds ever be in your favor. Like, we will be monogamous when I wake up and I ain't got no more. Like, that's it. It's like, I was like, well, I'm a go. Like that is it. Like, the stable's gone because now I only want to give my attention to you.
That don't sound
and that's
smart.
when I know. That's when I know. That's when I know that it's time.
I feel like
that's not been my experience.
When it comes to guys or you?
Yeah. So when you said why do we always try to rush? So I think, well, I've been engaged twice, right? And I got married the second time. Both times I was asked to be married less than 5 months.
I mean, you're awesome.
No. So listen, no, I'm not trying to say that as a badge of honor. What I'm saying is that all men aren't slow, right? Okay, but at the same time, I don't necessarily think that was a healthy, right? Like, situation. Like, there are other reasons why it happened so fast and all that stuff. But like, everybody's not so slow, and every woman is not so pressed.
And there's no absolute. So and then you made that statement, and the reason that brings me to the reason I asked you three on here. I truly respect how you guys carry yourself, how you move. I don't think you're the typical, like, you're throwing yourself, like, you're not desperate for men from what I've seen. I know you guys, damn, all of you over half my life at this point, right? So what I'm saying is I wanted to get a different opinion, but for somebody or a group that I can truly respect your mindset. Like, Attayah, that you were proposed to twice, not a surprise, right? Like, I've never seen you as that desperate type chick, or, you know, like, we've been around, we have friends, line sisters, whatever. We've seen some idiots come across our path, and you're like, girl, what are you doing? God, what are you doing? I never saw you guys as that. So I wanted to put that out there to the audience. That's part of the reason I put them on the show. Everybody's well respected. I respect your minds. So somebody had Tara, you about to go someplace with it, I think?
Oh, I was just going to say that for men, most likely, it seems to me, Razi, I don't know you, but you probably got shmoney, because most men don't like to date multiple women because dating costs money. And I feel that it is more advantageous for women to do the Hunger Games and be like, the odds in your favor, right? Because one, it is typically a lower cost, like, intro to dating for women. You're just really paying for your makeup, your hair, your clothes, for a first date. And a man, typically, a good man is going to pay for you. And then we're not even getting to the $200 dates, but dates do cost money. So most men don't want to date, or they want to date smartly or more efficiently. So I would say that's probably not the typical case.
I mean, but the thing is, there are guys that make almost no money or don't even have a job that have stables. So it's not uncommon for a guy to date multiple women and not have a lot of money.
What's the definition of dating?
Now, they may not be dating quality women.
They're picking. Because they got that good dick game. So that's why they got stable.
Nike slides and gray
exactly. That's not dating. That's they not dating. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I forgot. We don't curse on this podcast, y'all.
No, Razi will bleep it out. Okay. But that's the thing, right? It's the fact that if that's the end game for him, like I just told you, I was anti-marriage for years. So why am I necessarily? I'm not looking for the future Mrs. Ferguson. I'm just looking for somebody. I'm looking for a state. Like when I wanted to have sex, I didn't have to go looking around. I knew that I can reach out to this person if I want somebody to talk to. Insecure. I need somebody to stroke my ego for a while. Like I would have a lady. I wasn't big on titles, so I would have a lady or something like a lady or whatever was going on at the time. Guys, we make up where we fit in where we want to. Now, guys that are looking for something deeper, that's a little different.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why MyLowe's Rewards is free to join. As a member, you earn points towards MyLowe's money on eligible purchases, get exclusive free gifts, and earn free shipping at Silver Key status, all on top of weekly member-only deals. Don't wait. Join MyLowe's Rewards for free today and start saving more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
But even with those guys, I mean, dating is a process. And if you only date one person at a time, it's going to take you a really, really long time to find the person. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. And so that's the difference there. So I go out on a date Friday and then another date on Saturday. And maybe the next weekend I go with somebody else. And maybe the girl from Friday, I want to go out again. So I schedule something for the next week or whatever. That's dating. Right. That's how you date until it's to the point where it's like, I'm out with you tonight. And what are you doing tomorrow? I've got a wedding I got to go to. Let's schedule it. I want to be with you to come with me to the wedding too. That is that progression to the point where you're like, okay, this is my chick. Like this is my lady. And that's when you can progress to that next step and say, I want to be monogamous. I think what happens so often is the guy feels pressure to say, yes, you're my lady because of whatever, society, whatever. And so he says, you're my lady, but he ends up going to cheat because he really wasn't ready. Right. Mm-hmm. And I think too often that happens. So have you guys kind of experienced that where you thought you were in a relationship or you thought that, all right, we're going down this path, but the guy wasn't?
No, I had I'm more a cutter offer. And so I feel like I meet a lot of guys that want to cuff people or cuff me real quick for some reason. And so I think it's good, in my opinion, to have better discernment. So, as we get older, you know what you're looking for. And I feel like you can have a conversation. Absolutely. My time is valuable. I don't have time to be going on multiple dates with guys because I got stuff to do with my life. So I have a conversation. We're not vibing. There's no date. I go on a first date. You're going to have fun because I'm a great person to be with. So I have to I'm always thinking, am I having fun because I am just having fun because I'm out? Or do I really like you? And so you can tell okay, well, maybe I might give this person a second date because I want to see. But sometimes you're like, nah, the first date, we're good. So you just have to you have to have better discernment instead of being like, I want to go out with this person and this person and this person, because you be moving, you be doing stuff like, I'm traveling. You got to fit in where you get in. And, I don't know my experience, and I'm pretty sure maybe Attayah and Teagan, I feel like guys, if they recognize you as a being a quote unquote good woman or those good qualities, they're going to be more likely want to take you off the market. And then as you have to be like, hey, slow down, because guys will love bomb you and do all these other things and, just go extra and beyond. So
we're stupid, but we're not stupid.
And I think initially though, you get love bombed and you're like, oh my, you see me, of course, you know what I'm saying? But then after a while you realize they're trying to rush to get you. So you don't really know who they are and you're already off the market at that point.
It makes sense. That's the game. You guys have dissected the whole game. That's exactly what we do. Yeah. Byron, did you do that when you were young?
Love bomb?
Razi?
Yeah. Well, and hold on. I'm running into now because I'm a nice guy. right? And so like Ferg will tell you I'm too nice, and so when you guys say love bomb, it's like I've ran into where girls thought I was love bombing them, and I'm like, this is just what I do. Like I'm this is me as a person.
It's only love bombing if you don't sustain it, right? It's like you do the entire intensity, and then after a while, that's not really you. That's the love bomb. If you sustain it, that's
so
you.
let's stop with a couple of things. Let's define love bomb for the listeners and people on here, and then go back to the good guy, good girl type conversation. And Buff, I feel like you had a question, or you were about to disagree with something.
No, I was just disagreeing that Razi's not too nice. He's not too nice.
Attayah, do you want to do the definition of love bomb, or you want me to?
Oh, you can do it.
Okay, so love bombing, Teagan, is when anytime a guy or a girl, they meet you and they're instantly presenting you with a whole bunch of attention, gifts, showers of affection. So men, they'll
like, I've never met anyone like you before.
They'll buy you flowers immediately, like huge bouquets of flower, take you on yachts. They'll like bring you lunch and cook for you, and they'll do a whole bunch of things, dinners and everything. They'll just go above and beyond. Trips, like really quickly, and then they'll try to move immediately into relationship and sex. And they do that because typically those people are narcissists. And when somebody's love bombing you, moving too quickly, that's obviously a red sign.
Yes, it is. I think I've experienced that before. So yeah.
Does that include? So can love bombing be verbal as well? Just like I already see you as my wife.
God, yes, yes. Like when people say those things, it's like you got to run away. Like you just met me, or they're like, "Oh, I want to have your kids. We're gonna have good kids." You be like,
"You don't know me."
No, run away.
I think those guys think women want to hear that though.
Well, we do, but we want it to be genuine. And I think after you've heard it so many times so quickly, you're like,
but also,
this is not
But I also think is they really do want to be loved, but it's like they want that. They don't really see it with you, but they want those. They want to have a kid. They want to be married. They want to be with somebody and not feel lonely. I think many people, I was talking about with my other homeboy, some people are just really afraid of being alone. They're always going back to back to back to back to back dating. Oof. It's like, are you going to take a break? Do you have time to breathe? Like you're going from one guy to one girl. Like, what you doing?
Yeah.
Are you afraid of being alone?
I think we're taught.
I think
dating how we're taught to date and all this stuff and expectations. I feel like just all screwed up. We were talking about, like, I can speak for myself. I was never like a love bomber. But if I saw somebody who I was really interested in, I wanted to get all or the majority of her attention to take her off the market. Like men are territorial. So my thing, if I got to take, I'm not even gonna say because no. My goal is to get taken off the market, right? And even if I don't have the intentions of marrying her or whatever the case may be, I want her off the market because I don't want anybody else interfering with this. And guys, I guess love bombing or whatever they need to do, that's what they do. And there's no reason to stop because it works. Like, this is the problem. This is one of the biggest problems with the dating thing. It's like, well, why would men do this? Why would women do it? Because it works. Men can pay and be flashy and get that. You can say these are not good qualities for men, but somebody's gonna fall for it more times than not. This is why guys do it. The same reason women are able to get all these things out of men, like, why would he spend all this money? Because she knows she can do it. It works. It's proven that more times than not, it's going to work to a certain extent and get you the same spot. But if my end goal is just the sex or whatever, or that temporary love, then that's what I'm gonna do. So Teagan, on this show, I always have an issue with, I bring up gender wars a lot. Like a lot of times I just all the time see women and men just going back and forth on who's the most hurt, who's the most wrong. Your age bracket, the guys in your age bracket, tell me there's hope. Tell me, because the women my age, they always complain and say it's too many men out here that don't have their shit together, got 3 different baby mamas, no job, this, that, and other. Tell me there's hope that the younger generation has tightened up and that they all are working towards 6-figure jobs,
they'll have any kids out of wedlock yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no hope. There's no hope.
Well, what's the biggest issue with guys in your age bracket? Would you
For
say?
you?
I feel like a lot of them, let me see, are unhealed.
Already?
Yeah, like
Okay.
whatever childhood traumas they got, they're not healing from it, and they don't know themselves. And I don't know. I think they just sex is their main priority. I feel like, and so there's just no hope. There's no hope.
I think the healing thing is like all age ranges right there.
Listen, I would say I am more the positive person. Tavares is going to laugh at me. I feel like, not that I date a lot, but I think it's definitely hope. Don't give up your standards, because, there's always going to be somebody that's going to meet your standards. So don't ever lower yourself for anybody, because you can get exactly what you want. I tend to think that there are so many good people. I've been blessed. I haven't been married, haven't been engaged, but I've been blessed to have dated some really good guys. I think the problem is that I am picky, and I know that. And so nothing's wrong with that. But, there's really good guys out here, and you will meet them. And I think as long as you continue to look good for yourself and to do you're only going to be experiencing more and more. So it's more like the law of attraction. I expect good things. Good things happen to me. I expect to get a lot of attention from attractive men that I'm interested in. I get attention from men that I'm attracted in. You know what I mean? So believe it. Don't say, like, I think not talking about God, but the kingdom of God is voice activated. So what you put out there, you reap. So start saying, there's so many great guys, and that's what you're going to begin to see. So
that's some good advice.
She spoke. I hate to follow up, because I'm about to say this.
I like that.
I agree with you, but I also think we have to be realistic that expectations at 25, a lot of us are broken. A lot of us are still, I'm 42, I'm still learning myself. I've been doing therapy for maybe 2-3 years now. Like, it took me to be in my late 30s to go through a lot of different things to seek therapy regularly. So your brother at 25 was trash. I was trash. I was good trash, though. Comparatively speaking, no, I wasn't trash, because,
Use the recyclable type of trash.
I had some people that were garbage. I was just trash. You look at your environment. Like, I think sometimes we put too much focus on trying to get to this end game that we're not even ready or prepared for. I was not ready for marriage. I wasn't ready to receive my wife at 25. I don't even remember who I was dating at 25, but I was a good enough boyfriend at a time. I was as good as, I was probably a C+ B boyfriend to be 25. But, what am I really trying to do? I wasn't ready for marriage. I wasn't ready for kids. I wasn't ready for commitment. I was still healing. I was still doing all this stuff. I'm still trying to go to these clubs. And yet, and still, the women around me were just as, I'm not going to call them trash because that's rude, but they had just as many issues. It was just different. It was presented differently. Like, you're still trying to figure yourself. Most of us are still trying to figure ourselves out at that point. My biggest concern is, unfortunately, the world puts so much pressure on young ladies to try to find themselves at this early age. Like, 25, you're 25, I'm 25. We're both trash. We're still trying to find ourselves. You still want to go to the club. You still want to go to Vegas. You still want to go out of the country. You still want to travel and do your thing, but you want to be in this relationship. You're not ready for this marriage and this other. That's a whole nother level. If you're not prepared or better prepared, that stuff is rough. So, yeah, we're trash, but yeah, it's to be expected. Unfortunately, we're all probably trash at 25. You might be the few, the proud. You might be the diamond in the rough, which I believe my sister is. So I'm not saying you're trash, but are you ready? Are you truly ready to be in the relationship that you want to be? If Mr. Right walked in today and was saying, I don't want you to be single anymore, are you ready to receive that? That's my question. So,
and Teagan, I would say the best, I hate saying advice, but best information I can give you is to live your life and to enjoy it. A lot of the people I know that have, not a lot, some of the people I know that gotten married at an early age, they're now divorced, or they complain about how they're not happy in their relationships, you know? So I'd say, you know, nothing's wrong with waiting and finding the right person for you at that time in your life, whenever that may be.
I have to jump in because I think that it is okay not to be married forever. I used to think you get married forever, but I think life and your journey, sometimes it's about seasons. And I think women, we often think about, is this person husband material? Like, can I see myself with this person in the future? And you're right. Like at 25, like that's not a fair expectation, I think, to have of anyone, to know who they're going to be at 45, right? But I think we don't spend enough time saying like what love should feel like and like how partnership should feel. Because as you grow through your 20s and your 30s and your 40s, like what you want, what you think you want, who you are is going to evolve. But I think the core of that in partnership should always be like, how do I feel and how does this person make me feel? And I think even like now at 42, after being with someone for 10 years, being married with children, I'm all about like, what is that connection? Not necessarily like on paper, or is this what it should look like? Or is this what it should be? Or what had they planned for themselves? It's like being present. And I think that that's most important.
Marriage should be terms.
Yeah. It's I think being able to go through 2 marriages, right? And so going through one that kind of crashed and burned, and then being in probably the most beautiful relationship you could ever think of. I can tell you, I definitely agree, Attayah. I think it's one of those things that on paper may mean one thing, but it's just that connection and that feeling of when you can breathe around that person, right? It's that feeling of just walking in and you feel that love. There's a great movie. It's called The Doorman, and it's about a doorman and, you know, a girl, she's living in the building, and every time she goes on a date, the doorman's like, I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like him. And towards the end of the movie, she comes with, the final guy. It's a rom-com type thing. And the doorman's like, I like him. And she's like, well, what's different about him? You've only seen him for like 20 seconds or whatever. He's like, I was never looking at the guys. I was looking at you. And so that feeling and that light that you feel with that person, you'll know. And you'll know that connection. And so if you have to force it, if you have to say, well, I think this is the guy and I feel like he's a great husband and things like that, he's not. That's not the guy for you. It should be it should be a Z. I will move to Houston for this guy because I know that's the guy. That's my guy. Like, that's the thing. Like, you'll feel it when you know, and you'll know that that's the guy right there.
Hey, Fidelity. What's it cost to invest with the Fidelity app?
Start with as little as $1 with no account fees or trade commissions on U.S. stocks and ETFs.
That's music to my ears.
I can only talk.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Zero account fees apply to retail brokerage accounts only. Sell order assessment fee not included. A limited number of ETFs are subject to a transaction-based service fee of $100. See full list at fidelity.com/commissions. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE SIPC.
Every cup of Nespresso coffee is an invitation to transform your morning routine into a ritual you can treasure each and every day. Using the Virtuo Pup, a simple touch of the button freshly brews bold aromas and a rich, velvety crema layer for delicious cafe-quality coffee at home. Whether you enjoy your coffee hot or over ice, every sip, every morning is unforgettable. Nothing tastes like Nespresso coffee. Visit Nespresso.com or our app to explore our full range of easy-to-use machines and coffees not found anywhere else.
I wanted to ask each lady and see if the answers are similar. What are some like automatic deal breakers when it comes to dating guys, barring like the obvious stuff like abusive, serial cheater, stuff like that? What are just some like, I can't do it?
I'm gonna just go on mute because I know some of these gonna be funny.
So having kids I prefer people that have had this experience, you know, that have children, know what it's like, know what the challenges are. So it's important to me the relationship they have with the mother of their child, their co-parenting relationship, right? Like, you know, it's also important to me, like, do you have friends and what are the quality of your friendships? Like, who do you keep around? Like, do you get along with your family or do you not talk to your people? Because most likely it's that person if they don't have their people. So those are preliminarily my like,
Those were gems. I'm just giving you.
Miss Tara.
Who's up next?
Oh, and for the listeners, I want to say that movie's called Modern Love, not The Doorman. So it's just the doorman's in it.
We be making up stuff.
You know, we just be making up stuff.
I mean, that's a good question, Buff. So, Teagan, I would say, don't do what I do. I be cutting guys off for various reasons. I feel like if I, honestly, my biggest thing is that, do you add value to my life? I think I date I think I'm a pretty dope person. And I think if you're not adding any value to my life, or if, I think a lot of men focus on what they can provide, like their money, their material status, their jobs, their cars. They have nothing of value to offer. They're boring. And I feel like if you have nothing cool to add, or if you're not going to expose me to anything or not have anything to do besides talk about your money, your car, and your jobs and be like, that's it, automatically I know that's a no. So I am not impressed by that. I do expect it though. So, but I don't think that's something that you should lead with. So I don't date broke men. Again, I attract what I speak. So, you got to have those things, but that should not be all that you have to offer. I believe in people being equally yoked.
Miss Tara, so
Tara.
Please. Sorry, Miss Tara. I'm sorry. I'm in the DC area. Okay, we have a lot of free museums. So if I were to say, hey, I have this dope date plan and everything I do, I'm not spending money, but we're going to these different places, would that be an issue for you?
No, I'm all about quality time. And I also believe, you should be smart. Like I said, like if people like Razi want to date people Saturday, Sunday,
big money
Tuesday,
bags. Yeah.
I feel like you can do things. But I don't do cheap and I don't do broke. So, but if you have a really dope idea, I think a museum's a great idea. Something, my opinion, Teagan, is dates where you can get to know the person. I'm not a big fan of dinner dates because one, I feel like, you're just eating and stuff. Like you can always do that later. I want to do something oriented to where you're talking and getting to know that person. But what do you think, Teagan?
My deal breakers for dating? I would say somebody that's very flashy. I like my guys to be humble, and I don't really like the flashiness. And then also somebody that posts on social media all the time, unless it's business related. Like, why are you that focused on social media? What else drives you besides social media?
You gotta have money, Teagan.
Oh yeah, I'm not dating nobody broke because I got money, and so I expect you to have money. So yeah, no broke.
What about potential?
Do they have to match your income, or like when y'all say he has to have money?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. What's broke? Like, we talked about like if he's a teacher and loving his job, doing it, but only making $45,000-$50,000 a year, is that broke?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I apologize. I've been living in South Florida for 13 years, so I apologize. But maybe I was saying Jacksonville, 40 to whatever you said, 50,000. That might not be poverty. Again,
poverty.
So I'm just saying again, like, I don't want to have to be like, nah, baby, I can't go out to eat because, you know, I gotta save money. Like, what? Like, what are you saving money for? You know, like, are you saving money for a house? Like, again, you know, I like to go out. Like, I feel like you have to be able to match my lifestyle. If I'm going to be going on trips, are you going with me? Are you gonna be like, you know, if I'm going out to eat, are you gonna be like, I can't go out to eat with you? Like, what kind of added value you gonna do? You gotta, like, being equally yoked.
Going on trips.
Being equally yoked.
Okay.
Being equally yoked, you know, and I have nothing wrong with dating people, and I don't tell people how much I make, but
I struggle with this because I think in theory, I want it to not matter, but it does matter to a degree. But I think overall, my thing is like, do you bring utility? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, let's say I'm with some, you know, a neurosurgeon, right? Like that lifestyle, that career, it's going to take away from me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even entrepreneurs, you know what I'm saying, that could be doing very well. Like quality time matters to me. And like, when I talk about partnership, like I need help with a lot of things. Like I don't want to, you know, I want to be in my soft, feminine space. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily feel like I need somebody that's out here like you know, I'm comfortable. I don't want for it. So I'm not necessarily looking for somebody that can like match me or provide for me, you know, but I do want someone whose quality of life and the things that they desire and like their vision to match mine on all fronts. So it's not like you can't make 45. It's like you make 45 now. Is that because you quit your job and you're trying to grind and build? Like, I don't know. So I don't have a hard expectation on like,
but on the flip side, that just
bus down.
You can't be driving a what?
You can't be driving a bus down and jumping on a bus. I mean, you know, that's not on my level.
Nothing's wrong with transit, by the way.
In my life, we don't do public transportation, but I'm just saying there's certain things.
Okay.
Tara took, you know, that's a jab for her.
I find this interesting because on the flip side, guys who make money like that, there's never an expectation of the woman having to make money like that.
Let's get Teagan before you keep going. Let's get her.
Okay.
Wait, what was the question we had?
Money.
Oh, do they have to have money?
Do they have to match like what you make, your income?
Now, in Teagan's defense,
because she said she didn't want anybody.
In Teagan's defense, Teagan is super dope. I'm a brag on my sister. Like her earnings right now, and I'm not gonna put your money out there, but the average guy is not gonna be at her age is not making what you're making. Teagan's an engineer with a master's degree. She makes, and she's left companies and she's she's made moves quickly to the point where the average guy, I know it, I sure wasn't making what you're making at 20. Hell, I was still in college, but at 25, I was not making what you were making, you know? So it took time. And so that's why I asked about potential earlier, you know, at your age group, like, hey, I'm making 50, 60, I'm the teacher. I essentially want to get into higher education or be a principal or something like that. So it might be a 5, 6, 7, 8 year plan where I can kind of match you. But right now, this 45 is what I got. And while you're thinking of, is that a challenge for you? Because we kind of hit on it, but like, what's the biggest challenge for you dating in your dating pool or your dating world?
Okay, well, I'm going to answer does he have to match my salary question first. So I don't think he necessarily has to match it. It can be like, you know, 20, 30 lower. And as long as you're adding, like Attayah said, if you're adding value, if you're helping me, if you're making me be less of an independent woman, then I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that.
Your biggest challenge is?
The biggest challenge? I feel like men don't know how to communicate well. That's the challenge. Just be straightforward from the jump. If you want to date me, say that. If you want other things, say that. Like, I don't know. I don't want to beat around the bush.
Sounds good, but playing it safe has gotten me this far. It's like, I understand what you're saying, but this formula has worked. We just want a guy to be upfront. Yeah, I can do that and lose out on Teagan, or I can play this game get the Teagan I want while I'm still working on it. I'm just telling you what this is. I've been out the game for a while, but I still know single guys, and this is how it works, and it sucks that it works that way. And push back on communication. I don't think we do know how to communicate, so I'm not going to push back, but we communicate differently. And so
that's exactly what I was going to say. I don't think it's that they don't know how. It's
expectations
just that
of each.
They don't speak. Yeah, like you want to hear it.
And vice versa, you might communicate too much.
Vice versa.
Oh my God, I wish she was just shut up. She always want to talk about her. Like it's how do we make this fit? So now to the other ladies, what's the biggest challenge out here in this dating pool? What's going on? You all present something different. Teagan, you're young. You're in this new generation. These guys are weird. Tara, you're older. You're not old because I don't want to make sure I'm saying this right. You're older. You're mature. You know what you want out of life. Your expectations are high, as you've demonstrated multiple times on this show. And Attayah, you're new to the game, dating world. You're probably adjustment from when you were dating, and you make great money, you got kids, you're probably like, he needs to come with it, whatever he presents. You're reevaluating what you're attracted to and what you want out of a relationship. What's that world like now? Because I don't know it.
So I often get asked like, oh, how's dating and everything? And I'm like, it's fantastic. Like, it's easy. It's not hard. I don't mind the swipe. Like, swipe. It's fine. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to get a roster. It's very, like, I mean, Tara said, like, it's very low cost of entry for us. We just got to show up. Mm-hmm. I think that the season that I'm in now, though, is I'm used to like a real like toxic intensity. Like, oh my God, I've never met anybody like you. Nobody's like you, like this. And I want to, you to take my last name, and we want to have children and this and this and that. And when you meet and for me, for a while, I thought that was what meant someone liked you. So then when I didn't get that energy, it's like, he's playing. So now I think I'm trying to settle in what healthy feels like, because I already know, like, I don't want the intensity, but then I don't think I really have the patience. So I think it's more me. It's not the people. It's just trying to readjust to what is healthy and what's real versus smoke and mirrors.
So Attayah, I'm going to follow up. One, listeners, let it be known that Attayah is stunningly gorgeous. Okay. So I just feel that she's not gonna have an issue with dating because she's stunningly gorgeous. And I agree with her. I think that I always tell people I got options. I feel like I look younger than my age. I often get approached by men that are significantly younger than me, so I dated younger. I don't like to date too much older. So I have options. I am, like I said, exclusively dating this one person. I think that my biggest challenge is because I know that I'm a cutter. I know that I tend to, like, first sign of getting rough, I'll be like, cut somebody else. Like, you know what I mean? Because there's always somebody around the corner. I really do like this individual. And so my thing is to make sure that I am not my biggest enemy by, at the first sign of trouble, just like cutting loose. So my goal is to make sure that I'm working on me, because I think at the end of the day, all you can work on is yourself. So I think I agree with Attayah. My challenge is myself to make sure that I am being the best person I can be for whatever relationship that I want.
That kind of answered my next question. Like, what's the biggest challenge with dating you? Because it's easy, and you guys have done a great job. A lot of times we get on shows like this and it's just like, men suck, yada, yada, yada. I'm so great. And it's like, I have my faults or I'm working on this and I'm in the meantime. But anything else you guys want to add? What is the challenge to dating you, or to make it simple? Why are you still single? Like that's the question. You guys are super dope. Why are you still single? Why ain't nobody put a ring on it? I think sometimes people get that. And I guess the side question is that even the goal right now? Like Attayah, you kind of said where I'm at in my life, I'm not really, I'm fine with the swipe. So many times we just assume that the end game has to be marriage, or you're ready for that right now, or What we got?
So for me, I think I'm realizing like I want let me just be clear for everybody listening. So I have a 50-50 co-parenting situation that's very amicable. So we live very close to one another. My kids are there for a week, Friday to Friday, and then they're home for Friday to Friday. So, I have my time, I have their time. It's kind of, mixed up with pickups and school and activities, but basically like I have time to date. But because in my transition, I have invested a lot in creating a very peaceful, happy space. I don't like to argue. I don't like to raise my voice. Like I like to live like in peace. So in order for me to bring somebody in, you can't disrupt that. Like I'm choosing to spend my time with someone. So I think I'm struggling with like, are you even worthy of me like disrupting like my peace and my calm? And I think there's some of me like just investing and not getting the return that I feel like I expect or deserve. So it would be nice like when I'm free, and everything's quiet to be like, yo. But then my value, it's like, I can't just cheapen myself to just have an experience. Like I want, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing in the streets, basically.
Oh, I'm right there with you. I get it. You want something casual that you can like, when I have time, I can do it, but not when I don't have time, right? Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, don't call on me when I don't have time for you. Like, be available when I want you to be available. But when I'm not available, don't check for me. And that's not
That sounds like dating back in the day. Nothing has changed.
Beautiful. That is beautiful.
Nothing has changed.
What? Can you clone yourself here in Birmingham for me so that I can find that? Because that's exactly what I'm looking for. Because I don't have time either. Yeah.
That sounds like dating. That's a dating I know. Teagan, what you got for us?
The biggest challenge of dating me, kind of what Attayah said as well. Like, I don't want anybody to disrupt my peace because I just feel like I just got to a peaceful place where, like, yeah, I have peace of mind now. And then, like, if you do one thing to disrupt that, I'm Tara, I'm cutting you off. So I think that's a big challenge. Well, one of the biggest challenges for dating me, like, be careful or I will cut you off. And then, let's see. Oh, I feel like I've been very independent for quite a while. So that's a big challenge dating me, like learning to be submissive to a man. But, you have to be an alpha man for me to be submissive to you. So that's one of the challenges.
Okay. I had a follow-up question. I forgot that fast. And Teagan, just knowing you your whole life, and the difference I've seen in you is like most young ladies I've seen your age, like they're I've never really seen, and maybe because you keep yourself private, which is our family thing, I've never really seen you running behind anybody. Like you don't, like, you're not bringing guys home. You're not like, this is the one. Do you think you are different from a lot of your counterparts or people your age that are jumping into relationships and trying to find Mr. Right? Every guy's bae, or unless that's not a thing anymore. I don't know. I feel like,
I mean, there are some girls out there that just like to jump into relationships. I feel like the females I surround myself around, they're not like that. So I don't feel like it's odd for me to not just have never brought a man home. Like, you have to be very, very, like, important for me to bring you home for you to meet my brothers and my mama.
I'm about to get in that ass.
Yeah.
It's just Tara, what you got?
I think that, again, I'm like Attayah. I'm definitely about this soft life. I think the current relationship that I am in right now is easy. I don't think we're working too hard, so I think it's where it's evenly matched. And so it's very much, like a good pace. So I would say, just want to keep that up and hope that, I'm sure there's probably going to be rough times ahead, but right now everything's pretty easy peasy.
Okay.
It's hard though, as like a self-made woman or like someone who has like accomplished or experience a level of like success, you've done so by being assertive and, you know what I'm saying? And like taking challenges and like, you know, being a boss. And it's hard to like instantly know how to turn it off if that space is not created for you. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that women are given enough credit to like make that transition. Let me say it differently. I think the responsibility is put on us to know when to switch it on and off. And it's like we're hardwired this way because of our experiences. So unless we're put in a situation where someone can have more experience or have greater perspective or what, it's hard to kind of just sit down and relax, you know, unless you feel like somebody is capable of leading. And I hate to say that because it sounds very polarizing, but it's like, I don't want to boss up at home. I don't even want to boss up at work. Like, let me be a kept woman. But because I haven't lived that lifestyle, I don't know how to be that just now. So it's like, how do you transition? You know what I'm saying? You know, I know my mouth is a problem, you know, because I always got something to say. So I'm learning how to like listen more and be more patient. But it's like the best of who I am is like not compatible for like the most successful relationship.
Go ahead, Tavares.
And everybody doesn't deserve that. Everybody doesn't deserve that, to get that opportunity for Attayah to calm down. Like, some people need you. Like, you haven't proven yourself. You deserve everything I'm about to say to you, or all the challenges are coming with you. And I think we talked about this one time where I had a friend basically saying like, I want to be better. I just can't for her. She's not the person that makes me want to be this person that Attayah and Tara and Teagan are saying, you know what? You got it. You got it. And not like that.
So sorry, Tavares. I would say I tend to slightly disagree. I think there's a lot of things as I have evolved in becoming like a better boss, like professional development. You can use those tools and those skills at home, like, you know, being an active listener, you know, collaboration, communication, realizing that at the end of the day, we're on the same team. And so I think that sometimes it's, you know, when you're dating, you like, instead of cutting all the time, you sort of kind of have to give people grace and be like, you know, would I treat my friend like this, you know, because at the end of the day, we're both on the same team, or you want to be, especially if you've gotten to the point where you're beyond dating and you're like trying to, you know, see where that relationship is going to go. Like, y'all are both trying to be on the same team, right? So just act that way. So I think, you know, when I frame it in that regard, it makes me like, I'm not going to speak to my friend bad. Like, if we get into an argument, I'm not going to be like, okay, I'm not going to ever talk to you again. Like, I'm going to be like, you get on my nerves, I'll talk to you later. You know what I mean? So putting it in that context of being like, you know, framing it differently. And so I think it's really like about your attitude and your perception. So I'm a firm believer of, you have to envision the soft life you want, envision the ideal relationships you want, romantic, friend, business, and otherwise, and then it comes to you. And I think you have to, it's all about a choice. Like, I think Buff was talking about, like, or somebody was talking about earlier, it's a choice. You make a choice to be single or to be in that relationship mindset. You make a choice to be in your femininity, even when you're being a boss at work. And so to me, that's what I see.
Well said. Any additions? Anything else?
You know what's smart? Enjoying a fresh gourmet meal at home that you didn't have to cook. Meet Factor, your loophole in the laws of mealtime. Chef-crafted meals delivered with a tap, ready in just 2 minutes. You know what's even smarter? Treating yourself without cheating your goals. Factor is dietitian approved, chef prepared, and you plated. Pretty smart, huh? Refresh your routine and eat smart with Factor. Learn more at factormeals.com.
This episode is brought to you by Nerds Gummy Clusters, the sweet treat that always elevates the vibe. With a sweet gummy surrounded with tangy, crunchy Nerds, every bite of Nerds gummy clusters brings you a whole new world of flavor. Whether it's game night, on the way to a concert, or kicking back with your crew, unleash your senses with Nerds gummy clusters.
Ladies, do you guys have any questions for us, each other? Anything you want to say to the guest? And I do like the word team, Tara. Like, that is huge. I don't want to pass it up.
I'm still in your phrase from a couple weeks ago. Happy house, happy spouse, or something. Whatever you said. Happy spouse, happy house. I like it.
So we go by Team Ferg, because at the end of the day, it's like no matter what happens, we're on the same team. You losing, me losing. Like, it's if the goal is for our household to win, then me trying to win and have you lose, like, a L is a L. I can't say, well, I played a damn good game and we still lost, but you didn't do your part. It's like, we lost. No matter how many points I score, if you're playing offense, I'm playing defense, if they scored more points than us, I didn't score enough points. Or vice versa. So anything else, ladies, for each other? Anything, parting words for each other, experiences?
Attayah, I think I have two things for both of y'all. Attayah, I think that enjoy this time. I feel that, just know that I'm speaking abundance and prosperity over you. And, you are going to find that happy place either with yourself or with somebody else in due time. Teagan, I am so excited to finally see you, like, in person, because I feel like, Tavares has always talked about you. But I would say, the best opinion, again, like I said, is develop yourself and enjoy the time you have. Don't try to rush into anything. But if you happen to stumble across somebody and you feel like this is a good person to walk with you in that path in your life at that time, take it. Live life with no regrets. I like to say that, I only have like, I think 2 regrets in my life, and everything else is you go for it. And if you fail spectacularly, you know what I mean? But then pick yourself up and keep it going.
Thank you.
Attayah, anything y'all want to close with?
Attayah, you're on mute. But it sounded like you were speaking
very
great.
I was about to start burning incense and
What I was saying is that, Tara, I think hit a lot of things right on the head. I think philosophically, I'm aligned with a lot of things that you live and believe, especially in terms of like visualizing what it is that you want for yourself and the law of attraction. I have it evidenced in my life, and I think in your personal growth, it is important that you visualize, right? And believe that what it is that you want will manifest itself. So I think that was great advice that I wish I was aware of in my younger days. So I think that was good, to share. So thank you. But good luck to you, ladies.
Thank you. And to Attayah and Tara, thank you for everything, your advice. I'm going to take it and run with it, honestly, because I needed it and I appreciate it.
I'm happy.
You're lucky you got a good big brother that can, if necessary.
I'm bringing the shop. But thank you guys. Brothers, anything? Let's close it on out.
I first want to thank the ladies for even coming on today. We've dealt with rescheduling. We dealt with technical difficulties today. And you guys just, put up and just showed a lot of patience. So thank you for that. I personally enjoyed this show, and I hope that the listeners listening to this show, I hope it was refreshing for them, because a lot of times we get these panels of men and women and it just turns into one fest. And today you heard like a lot of honest opinions and experiences from these ladies, but it wasn't like a lot of negativity. It was a lot of positivity, a lot of, pretty much everything Tara said like was just positive. So it was just real cool to hear. I hope it was refreshing, and I hope that's what come across for the listeners. The only other thing I got that isn't show related is Stand on Showtime, the documentary about Mahmoud. Oh man, I forgot his name already. Abdul Rauf. Born Chris Jackson, but he was actually the first Colin Kaepernick. He played basketball for the Denver Nuggets, and it's a great documentary. I remember some pieces of it when I was a kid. So to watch it now as an adult and really fully understand everything he did and what he went through, very dope documentary. So check that out on Showtime. It's called Stan.
Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, is it? Okay, yeah. I can pronounce his name when I knew it. Razi, what you got for us?
Just echoing what Buff said, ladies, thank you guys for joining us. You dropped jewels. You really did. As opinionated as I am, you guys even swayed me on some of the opinions on it. So I'm loving that. You got me feeling better about being out in this dating pool and knowing that it's not all trash. So so thank you for that. Worst case scenario. And again, you're always welcome back. Thank you to the Inspire You on air folks listening. If you want to hit these ladies up, we'll have everything in the show notes. You can go check us out on all your podcasting platforms. We'll have their social media or contact information, so you can go follow them. And if they have anything that they want to get out to you guys, they can do that. So thank you, ladies.
All right. Well,
thank you.
Hold on. Let me go ahead and get this out. This is the reason I chose this panel. Like I said, well respected. I just appreciate everything you guys said, the time, like the brother said, but also I know a lot of times people get upset with me or because I speak because my life has been different. I've been around the Attayahs and Taras for 20 plus years. These are the type women that I grew up around and matured around. So my expectations for women is different because I know there's people like you guys out there. And so even when I was growing up, I'm telling my homies, like, dog, you come to fam, like, these are the type chicks. They're like, dude, you just talk. I'm like, no, they're different. These women, there's more to this than a lot of things that we see and portray. So you guys have helped me have a higher standard for women, helped me find my wife, because that's why, because when I think about what women can be and who they can, the type of energy they can have, it's because of, the people I grew up around. So I select you guys for a reason. It was a pleasure and a privilege to have you on the show. Teagan, can't believe I had my baby sister on there. I'm gonna have my baby brother on there next week. So I'm gonna get a different story. Thank you once again. Brothers, can't wait to see you next week at the Sneaker Ball. Inspire You on Air guest. If you're there, once again, please stop and visit our table. And I apologize in advance. I will be drunk. And let us know what you think. Once again, ladies, thank you for the show. Three Brothers No Sense, your favorite barbershop style podcast. 6 Rules of Podcast. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Talk to you next week.